When doing my nightly 3 a.m. scroll through the Steam Roguelike library, I almost lost hope of finding something exciting to play. But then I was messaged by the team over at Neon Echo, and the conversation basically went like this. I downloaded the game and made the executive decision to not look at anything. Not just because I didn't want to be influenced by whatever existed on the internet, but also because nothing existed. As far as I know, I'm the first person to ever review this game. Which is probably not true, but you know what? I'll take the clout. So I knew that I had to review this game as critically as possible. And after dying time and time again, learning the mechanics in the game and playing for 9 hours straight, I can genuinely say that I support this game. Neon Echo is a side-scrolling action platformer roguelike. As much as I'd like to compare this game to Have a Nice Death or Dead Cells, I just can't, because Neon Echo does things so much differently. The entire game is stylized to high heaven with a saturated neon vibe, charming character designs, and though the localization still requires a lot of work,
it contains all of my love for you. Please keep up the good working and increasing the ranking of our company.
Alright.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking about an old friend. This is a small gift for you. I hope you like it, Lilia.
The voice acting is not it though. The fun and unique music-based gameplay and art style keeps things interesting. You even have to time your secondary attacks with the beat of the song in order to deal bonus damage. The roguelike elements include everything from crit bonuses that make your attacks create missiles, elemental advantages that can nuke the entire screen with the right combination of upgrades, lightning that can chain between enemies, fireballs you create after landing a successful combo. There's even elemental combination advantages that you can only receive by having the right upgrades as you progress. Like a duo boon from Hades, if you know what that is. Instead of just sitting here and explaining everything, I think it'd be better if I showed you guys what I'm talking about by playing the 3 different characters currently in the game and trying to beat it once. There's currently Lilia, the standard swordsman who has a variation form that allows her to dash infinitely and strike at the same time when active. Evelyn, the ranged character who is just outright very OP and can shoot rapidly, which works great with elemental buffs. And of course, Maz, a brawler with an air combo, which makes him my favorite. His secondary is a slower rush attack that can melt bosses if you use it at the right time. But I'm kinda bad, so I never do. Anyways, let's get into the gameplay so I can show you what I'm talking about. Thank you Neon Echo for sponsoring the video. Click the link in the description to download this game and give it a shot yourself. It was just released and I love it. Okay, let's go. The first character I chose was Lilia. She's the most standard of the bunch, and I had a lot of experience with her already, so I figured I could do well for clout. After filleting the first 2 enemies I saw in half a millisecond, my first upgrade was a lightning buff. Instead of choosing a lightning parry or paralysis, I decided to make my funny aerial down smash attack shoot a chain of lightning out just because it looked cool. I run through the next few enemies down smashing everything in my way, cause I'm badass, and remember that my camera was blocking my health bar, so I shunpoed to the top left. I basically speedrun the earlier sections of this game because the lightning smash is so powerful, and then when we get to a rest stop, I see my next power-up, or record as they call it in this game because it's all about music, which was an ice buff. Instead of buffing my secondary attack or something useful, I was already blind with power, and therefore I decided to buff, you guessed it, my down smash again. So now my smash was doing lightning on impact and leaving a freezing zone in its wake. I talked to Rhapsody, a rest stop NPC who gives insane buffs every few levels, and decided to change my secondary attack to a big slash because it looks cool. However, this game is so complex that I almost forget to use this the entire time I have it. Yeah, I know, it doesn't matter. I was taking this run to Smash City. I fight the next few rooms of enemies using the only thing I could trust, my downward smash. Because as my grandfather once taught me as a wee baby, when in doubt, downward smash.
Good chance.
Dude! Holy moly, it's so strong. It's so OP. My next record gave me the opportunity between lightning, frost, and fire, and in all games, lightning has always been my favorite, so I chose lightning again, and the upgrade I got made my ground smash lightning possibly happen twice. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Wow, Scooch, are you really going to spend all of your resources on upgrading one move like a bonobo-brained dummy? And the answer is yes. Moving on. After smashing our way through another set of baddies, we got an upgrade that makes my lightning proc more when I use my ultimate move, and also make my lightning deal more damage the more I use it. Basically, smashing leads to smashing doing more damage, so keep smashing. Then I find an elixir that makes my smash attack have crit chance, because why not? And basically at this point, if any enemy was ever below me, or anywhere in the same area code as my point of impact, they would simply cease to exist. Then I find another power-up that makes my smash attack have even more crit chance, while also giving it fear when it crits. To fully explain how stupidly strong my smash attack was, it now shocked enemies, froze enemies, had 37.5% crit chance, would fear enemies if it did crit, and also sometimes just happened twice. Increased by almost 30%, bro. Oh, this is gonna be brutal, bro. Now, sure, this may sound a little overpowered, and I was able to clear rooms in the same frame that I arrived at, but the first real test was about to come. A boss fight. Bosses in this game are pretty funny, not only because they're massive and nearly unstaggerable, but some of these guys are a real pain if your build isn't good enough. More on that later. I enter my first boss door, which looks absolutely terrifying, and I put my down smash to the test, and to nobody's surprise, it did a lot of damage. The problem, however, is that compared to most builds in this game, relying solely on a smash attack was pretty slow. So I ended up taking a lot of damage for no reason other than being stupid. Oh my god. Oh no, he's regenerating. After clearing the first zone and being jump scared by my health bar, we make our way into the next area. I heal a bit at the rest stop and immediately down smash my way through the next wave of jerks. I continue my accidental speedrun, making every enemy I see enter the second dimension, because they were flattened. And then, after seeing my baby boo Rhapsody again, I change my secondary attack back into a variation mode. At this point, this is my favorite upgrade in the game, because now, instead of doing a charge attack, my variation lets me shoot beams from my sword. It's super strong when you build for it, but I didn't. So I went back to smashing. And then I find a fire record that made my smash attack light the floor on fire. So now I was effectively hitting people with 3 elements in one smash attack. Move over, Mr. Avatar, because there is a new cocky in town. Or at least that's what I would be saying had I not overlooked one massive issue. You see, the next boss presents a very funny problem. A problem that I should have seen coming if I wasn't blind with power. He barely touches the floor, rendering my smash attack, aka the one move I powered up this entire run, completely useless. Fortunately, I still had my cool beam sword attack, but since I never spent any time leveling up my basic auto attack, I was tickling him like a weird uncle. So I decided it was finally time to use my ultimate move. And honestly, it barely did any damage. I'm about to die. Rip me, man. Not again, bro. Bro, he mixed me up so hard. After a very hard-fought battle of this long jerk that stayed just out of smashing range, I lost. Duh. I go back to the overworld and level whatever I can. And after a bit of reorganizing and getting my head in the game, it was time for run number 2. I chose Maz next because he has an air combo, which is a W, and a flurry of punches that deal a ton of damage with the right build of elements. I also had Supreme Hubris as well because I decided why not change the difficulty in this game to hard mode. I mean, surely they're just gonna add a little bit of health to enemies, right? The first upgrade we get is Ignite on my auto attacks. This was good overall dot damage and could synergize with other elements and upgrades later on, but for now, it was okay. Within the second second stage, I realized immediately that hard mode was just different. I have never seen some of these enemies before, and I've already played this game for 10 hours. Also, hard mode was incredibly hard. This first zone was harder than most games get, like ever. I wasn't expecting this spike in difficulty, and honestly, it was humbling. There were also mini-bosses that had insane health while cameras shot lasers at you, and like, my god, man, this is a lot. I got an elixir to increase my crit rate, and further improved my flame shot, so every 3 times I caught an enemy on fire, they would detonate and take bonus damage. We talked to Rhapsody, aka the robot waifu, aka the best NPC in the game, and get to choose a game-changing upgrade. But there, I saw it. A bait so delicious, I couldn't resist it no matter how hard I tried. That's right, a down smash upgrade, which essentially let me double down smash. Even though I quite literally just failed attempting a down smash build, I still got the down smash upgrade. They say insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting it to be different. But f it, I'm a Chad. Down smash build 2.0, baby! And I died to a basic enemy. Damn it. With 2 out of the 3 characters dead, I knew I had just one more shot to get to the end, so I had to whip out my secret weapon, Evelyn, aka the ranged character, which is normally pretty OP in roguelikes. But the build I got on her was mega annoying. The first thing I find allowed me to freeze targets. Though it's not a lot of damage, Evelyn shoots so many bullets that she doesn't care about percentage chances because 1% of a billion bullets is still a lot of bullets. I almost instantly get paired up against 2 mini-bosses at the same time, but Evelyn is a special kind of annoying, and also shoots bubbles that stun enemies whenever she parries or uses her secondary attack. So this fight, which would have probably been insanely difficult on Maz and Lilia, was a breeze by abusing the power of annoying. Also, just listen to her voice.
No one can escape!
God, you could torture a prisoner with that. Over the course of the first stage, I get poison on my normal attacks, a secondary— I'm still laughing at the prisoner thing. Over the course of the first stage, I get poison on my normal attacks, a secondary attack upgrade, which makes enemies detonate after being shot, thunder damage increase on my rhythm launchpad stat buff thingy, fire damage on my normal attack, enhanced HP regen, and after I got enough music cores, I was able to get a mega buff that let me heal 2 health after defeating 5 enemies. Healing mechanics are always my favorite thing in any game ever, especially roguelikes, because it allows me to be an idiot, so I knew we were in for business. Then, after being put through an absolute blender of a stage, I was finally ready to face the first boss again. And while I show you this boss fight, I just wanted to say my patented Scooch hot take of the week. Neon Echo, alongside a bunch of other games, tend to prove the exact same thing about ranged characters. Allowing a character to deal damage from far away really simplifies a game. Not only is it easier to dodge and keep yourself out of range, but also most ranged characters deal a lot of damage. Ranged characters just put games on easy mode. That's right, I said it. If you play a ranged character, you are a coward. Moving on. We defeat the boss in my sleep and then move on to the second stage. We hit a gacha machine and get 3 good rolls, which is insane because 3 out of the 6 items in the machine are awful, so I knew my run was truly blessed. Then we run into Rhapsody and I get an upgrade that I was afraid of taking. Basically, instead of my basic attacks being a combo, it turned them into a permanent rapid fire, which in a build based on chances and combos is absolutely perfect. Immediately after, I get the ability to spawn a tracking fireball every successful combo, and paired with my rapid fire attack, this made me shoot enough fireballs to put the Mario Bros out of business. If their business was arson. I mean, look at this. The fire never ends. What is this, the afterlife? I could say that at this point, my build was practically done. Sure, I picked up more things along the way, but I was basically shooting so many projectiles that enemies couldn't even see me behind the wall of death that I was creating. exciting. Now, it was finally time to face our mortal enemy, the snow snake that ended our run all those years ago. But now, with our brand new build and character, I was sure we'd finally be able to take this bastard down. On hard mode. Okay, sure, my damage isn't that impressive, but we won! And now we only had one more section to go. Section 3 in this game is significantly harder than the other stages. Enemies are faster, there's places where you could take fall damage, and on hard mode, all of that is just on steroids. But still, I managed to play this section well enough to get through most of it with only a few scratches. Plus, I had that healing from earlier. However, some of these sections were so outright difficult that I can't even imagine having to do them on the other characters. Fighting mini-bosses while getting smashed by tiny bros at the same time would be so hard if I didn't come packing. So thank God I brought some guns. But then I fought this guy who not only was one of the tankiest enemies I've ever seen, but he also spawned swords on the ground that would make you take damage if you dodge into them. After barely scraping by with 9 health left, I only had 2 more levels until I could hit the final boss. I knew I'd basically have to not get hit on the next stage in order to save my extra life, which would be extra hard because it was a jump quest, aka a section of difficult platforming made to kill you. And after getting so darn close to the exit, I accidentally dash a millisecond too early and get clipped by a rotating mace. It's a sad day for extra life stands in the chat. I find a bit of healing in the final pit stop of the game, and now I had to dust off my singular life and get ready for the hardest fight I've ever done. It was time to finally face the last boss. Yes, you are seeing that correctly. The final boss is 2 bosses. One ranged harpy type character that rains lances at you, and a massive buff armor titan that deals a ton of damage. And instead of explaining how this fight went, I'll let a montage show you. We got so close, but I was sadly unable to beat the game in my 3 tries. However, I learned a lot in my time here, like how speccing all your points into a down smash is a bad decision, and how speccing everything into a down smash again is a bad decision, and also how ranged characters are broken. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Neon Echo was just released over on Steam, so be sure to check it out from the description below. The gameplay is really complex, and there's so many satisfying builds that I've already found in just 10 hours of playing. I absolutely had a blast, so thank you to Neon Echo again for sponsoring this video. I'm gonna go lick my wounds and then lock in Evelyn again to secure a dub, because ranged characters are easy. I'll see you in the next one. Download the game in the description and click the video on the screen if you want to see more games you probably never heard of, or maybe a game you have heard of but in a different way. Wow! Alright, I'll see you guys. Bye.